here's Brody Brazil.
As we continue to learn just a little bit more about the Orlando Dreamers, their project to try and get Major League Baseball in Central Florida, we're also understanding that some of their initial figures and numbers, it could very much change. In fact, even the Dreamers themselves admitted that a $1.67 billion stadium is probably going to end up closer to being a $2 billion stadium project if they can actually even start it anytime in the near future. All of this coming to us via a report from the Orlando Business Journal, which says a couple interesting things, including this. Orlando's pursuit of Major League Baseball and efforts to build a stadium could see costs increase by as much as 20%, an additional $300 million or so by the time construction starts. But when would that be? Are they thinking that the Rays are vulnerable and volatile and like the next couple years might be go time? Or are they really thinking like 5 years down the road? What time frame are we even talking about? That's number one. We'll continue, though. The 45,000-seat stadium, which, by the way, is much bigger and larger than most new stadiums are doing these days. Kind of seems like 35 to 40,000 is the sweet spot, but 45,000-seat stadium is what they're proposing by the Orlando Dreamers, the group behind the push, has been estimated at a $1.675 billion cost, including parking garages. So think about all that buildup, a huge stadium, a huge structure. You've seen the greenhouse type situation that they're planning. I'll show you the renderings in just a second. All of that and parking garages for $1.675 billion. A domed 45,000-seat stadium, that does seem like quite a deal. And that's why, with tariffs and inflation and construction material costs, that's why somebody like Jim Schnorf, who's the Dreamers CFO, is already admitting that cost is going to go up. Quote, "We tried to be proactive in our estimates, allowing for some unknown contingency cost increases with design changes, etc. As of today, that figure could be slightly higher, and we suspect could be in the $2 billion range by the time construction would start," end quote. Jim said that to the Orlando Business Journal. But by the time construction would start, what are you expecting to happen here? Are you going to buy the Rays this offseason? Are you going to get approval for the Rays to move to Orlando, like maybe to the Disney complex, the Wide World of Sports complex, by next season? What time frame exactly are we talking about here for construction to start? Here's the rendering. Here's the plot of land. Actually, no, that's not. I will show you the plot of land in just a second. But you can see where it sits. It's right by Interstate 4. It's right by SeaWorld, and that SeaWorld aquatic water park that's just on the near side of that image right there. So I'll show you what the rendering looks like here, but now I'll show you real life what that site looks like today. Not a lot going on there. Little electrical substation, some fuel tanks up there, some type of tank storage. There's also a big water body, a square lake in the middle of that land. They'll obviously fill that in. There's an access road. I think this is about 35 acres, and I'm pretty sure that Orange County owns this land, and that's why the Dreamers want to and need to work with Orange County for this site. This is, they say there's multiple locations where the Dreamers could go, but apparently the Dreamers are very set and fixated on this location for a multitude of different reasons. Proximity to everything else, resources they could share, but also the fact that they want to work with the county on acquiring and using this land. But speaking of Orange County, let's go on that topic now. Orange County Mayor Jerry Demings told OBJ, no, not Odell Beckham Jr., the Orlando Business Journal, on May 8th, the county needs more details, specifically related to the return on investment, the ROI, should the county consider providing any funds or land for the baseball venture. So this whole time we're thinking, all right, Orlando, if they get this team, I mean, they'll do whatever they want, do whatever they can to make this happen. But the Orange County mayor, the county that Orlando is in, Jerry Demings is basically saying, not so fast here. We need to know exactly what we're getting into here. Here was the mayor's quote to the Orlando Business Journal. With professional baseball, there is an opportunity there, but it has to have the right balance. The ownership group has to put in the right money to build the stadium and bring those teams there, and the local community has to be supportive in a way that makes sense for us. Like, how much money does the public chip in, if any? on this, whether it's land or value of money, a certain amount of money. I'm not willing to put taxpayer dollars or taxpayer land into play without seeing the type of return on investment that would make sense from a financial perspective. So I think what we take away here is the mayor's not ruling this out. The mayor's not saying private funding or else. It's just, I won't do this without seeing the type of return that his county could get off of being part of this project. The Dreamers had previously sought more than $975 million in Orange County tourist development tax dollars to support the stadium. But a couple years ago, they were not selected back in 2023 for that money. So they missed out on an opportunity to be part of that. Now they're going to have to do this a little bit more of the harder way if they're going to get some public subsidies as part of this. Let me hit you with a couple takeaways here, quick ones. Even with an exact timeline, right? Even if the Dreamers knew that they were acquiring the Rays or getting a Major League Baseball team or whatever, not endorsing any of those things happening. I'm just saying, even if they knew exactly how this was going to play out, even then, cost is so difficult to predict lately. Again, tariffs, inflation, construction material cost. You never know what the economy is going to do. Things are fluctuating now more than they ever have in short spurts of time. So even if they had the timeline nailed down, and they don't by any means, it's no surprise that 1.67 goes up to $2 billion and probably 2.5, even if they started building this thing within the next 12 to 18 months. Orlando, though, and I say Orlando, but also Orange County, they obviously have experience with big companies and big projects. Look at their theme parks, for example. Look at all the travel and tourism they do, hotels, big companies. So Orlando, you'd have to think, does have that Las Vegas approach and edge to it where they'll just kind of do deals without all the diligence, maybe? Or they've got experience, like they know how to say yes to a lot of things. They know how to get to yes on a lot of things. So if you're looking at Orlando as being viable and possible, I'm not saying that the Dreamers, or if it's the Rays, they'll pull a fast one on Orlando or Orange County. It's just that the city and county know how to make these things work in Orlando. And I do have to say this. I still think in the bigger scheme of things, like with what Utah has lined up and public money ready to go, $900 million, the location, they've got the Larry H. Miller Group ready to invest billions in the site and buy in on a team or buy the team. Utah's got it pretty turnkey right now. I think Portland is also right around the corner from that. They've got a site that they're going to acquire. They've got a lot of financial backing behind it. Even way more than Orlando, I think, even has right now. But here's the thing. Utah and Portland don't have their immediate sights set on a Major League Baseball team to poach. And I know the Athletics are out there. The West Sacramento Athletics are out there. Volatile, vulnerable. Maybe their next few years look pretty versatile if like shovels aren't actually in the ground in Las Vegas. I still have not seen that yet. But the difference here is that Orlando has a team in their sights that they can poach. They've got the Rays. They've got the Rays in between stadiums, and Hurricane Milton ripped the roof off, and that's bad for Tampa. That's bad for St. Pete, but this is Orlando trying to pounce. So they've got a team and an opportunity in their sights. Even though they're not as far ahead as those other two cities, they've got a team within their reach and grasp. And I don't know if Portland and Utah necessarily have that right now. So a lot of different updates, a lot of things to talk about here, but the main thing is the $2 billion stadium cost. Yeah, Orlando and Orange County, they're not necessarily fully in on this yet, but the Orlando Dreamers project, which, by the way, I do think, and I know this is going to be in the comments of this video already, the name Dreamers is probably outdated, probably needs to go sooner than later. I'll be honest with you, I think in the next 2 to 3 to 4 months, they will just call themselves the Orlando Baseball Project or the Orlando Baseball Group or something like that. Dreamers is catchy at first, but a lot of people are thinking, would you change your name? Would you change a team's name to actually be called this someday? No, and I don't think that was the intention. They just needed something to brand themselves as. But I also think that as they get to reality, like the reality of maybe poaching a big league team like the Rays, they don't want this attached to them because dreamers and doers are Well, kind of two different things. Anyway, that's the end of this video. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments section below. Also, while you're down there, thumbs up on this video. Greatly helps me, the video, and the channel. And one last thing. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. I can't even talk anymore. It's late. I gotta go. Subscribe to the channel, hit the button below, so I can definitely see you back here next time.